Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we call home. It is drawn and quartered on Blacklist Universe. This is round 13, and we're going to draw some X-Force tonight. Edwin Boyett is our host once again. Well, what do you call it? Not the host. I'm the host. Moderator. Moderator.
Master of
leader.
ceremonies.
And so, Edwin, I'm going to let you introduce everybody. Take it away, buddy.
Hey, is your camera off, Mike? Oh, you're just showing a Bristol board.
I'm here. Yeah.
All right. So the topic for tonight will be X-Force. And so Mike will be posting a poll pretty shortly. If we can go ahead and get that in.
What's the noise?
And then Chester will be reposting that. So please get your votes in once we get the options in. Right? Everybody knows Mike Miller, right? Creator of LONESTAR. He's also got the Meg 3-pack, and you may remember him from Injustice days, and/or Captain Geach in the Fish Stick Force.
Nobody gets that joke, Edwin.
They love it. Moving down the line, let's see. I think Dan, have you been on the show before?
I haven't.
Okay, so appearing for his first time, we have Mr. Dan Fraga. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Happy holidays to you guys.
Happy holidays. Now, before we came on, you and I were talking just briefly, and you've actually got a comic book coming out with IDW here in about 3 months. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. It's called The Grave. It was a book that I put a lot of passion, sweat, and tears into back in 2014. I was working a full-time job with a 3-hour-a-day commute, and I listened to this book called The War of Art. It sounds like Art of War, but it's War of Art, and it's talking about guys like us, creative guys like us, that have all these ideas and never breathe them out into full fruition because we're waiting for the right time, the right amount of money, the right conditions to create these things, and ultimately people don't end up putting their things out. So what I did is I assessed the kind of time that I had, which was roughly about 4 hours every day in between the morning and evening after I got home from work, and I realized I could do a panel a day. So I put out this comic every day of the year in 2014 called The Grave, and then IDW picked it up and they're putting it out.
That's fantastic. And just remember, kids at home, context is important when you talk about putting your things out. But we'll be looking forward towards your comic book. All right, moving right down the line, and you've seen him on the show before, Eric Hudson, the world's biggest Rowdy Roddy Piper fan.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back again. In between working on pages for Rowdy Piper, The Kilted Avenger, and all my other day-to-day chores. But very happy to be here.
Very good. You ready to draw some X-Force tonight,
yes,
Eric?
I am so ready. I just voted for Domino, which everybody out there vote for Domino.
All right, moving.
Your thumb on the scale, mister. No putting your thumb on the scale.
Moving right down the line, we have Ellis. How are you doing tonight, Ellis?
Ellis Goodson, are you muted?
He's speechless.
He's alive. Ellis, can you hear me?
We will come back to Ellis.
Moving along.
All right. Returning to the show, a fan champ and a gold medalist right here on Drawn and Quartered. We have John Dillard, gaming the system.
Ooh, welcome. Thanks for having me back, Mr. Miller. You've been ducking me a long time.
It's like Mr. Bill or something.
Very good.
Oh, Mr. Bill.
On the last show of 2018. You have a chance to show. You have a chance to show if you're going to be a dominant force or if it was lightning in the bottle. So we will eagerly await what you have to show us.
Hey, real quick, can you guys hear me now?
Alice. Yay!
There
Okay.
you are.
All right.
Hey,
Excellent.
Ellis, you ready to draw some X-Force tonight, Ellis?
I am ready. I'm. All right.
So,
thank you.
what are you working on now, Ellis? Have you got a project in the works?
Well, I've been talking up the idea that I'm working on a cowboy comic book that'll run about 70 pages or thereabouts. The idea is it wants to be a movie script as much as it wants to be a comic book, because I've been reading so much the past 10 years about how to write stories for the screen and everything. It's like, what am I doing this for? Unless I'm going to actually do it. So it's like, but then I started that and I realized I should really, what with the talents and all, the talent stack, as Scott Adams calls it, go ahead and make it into a comic book, you know?
Very good. All right. The man who needs no introduction. How do you feel about drawing some X-Force tonight, Mr. Malin?
Sounds fantastic. It looks like I might be drawing Cable, but I thought we already did Cable. Oh well.
Well,
I think Cable was done.
Just remember, I think you've been given guidance on putting dreadlocks on particular characters. I think you were given that from one of your former editors. So just bear that in mind as we draw characters tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I think Cable's in the clear for the dreads.
All right, very good. Yeah. All right.
Cable? Am I drawing a blank? When did we do Cable?
Yeah, I thought we did Cable.
We did not do Cable.
I don't recall Cable.
It's possible I'm mistaken.
All right. And welcome back to the show, the creator of some very fine American-made manga. We have Kyung Lee. How you doing tonight, Kyung?
Doing good. How about you, Edwin?
Good. I see you have your inspirational material set up around your easel tonight.
As always.
Very good. All right. And moving right down the line, we have, and Matt, you may have to unmute yourself, please. We have Matt Cosson.
Hello. How you doing?
And Matt has got a project on IndieGoGo right now with James Huddle, and that is called Agenda. How are you coming along on Agenda, Matt?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, thanks to everyone who contributed or donated. We're already at 108%, and we're in demand right now.
Oh, very good.
Things are going good.
Very good. Fraga, you may need to take your ADD medication.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have another winner of last week's fan edition of Drawn and Quartered. You've seen him on once before on the professional version of Drawn and Quartered, and he took gold. Welcome, the Ryan Cardinal.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy.
All right, and we were talking about your book too. You've got a page of it up here. It is Caius, A Story of Blood and Stone. So when are you thinking about launching this now?
Going to be launching in the springtime of next year. I think I'm going to be looking for the beginning of May to start the IndieGoGo for it.
Very good. Let me check on this poll myself and get my vote in. I'm going to guess that Mr. Miller didn't even put in Cannonball for me. Oh, he did.
I did.
Cannonball.
I will probably be the one vote for Cannonball.
You're voting libertarian, are you?
Oh no, one person did.
No, that was also me. I voted for Cannonball.
All right, we've got 67 total votes, and let's see how many people we have in the audience. We have 167. So let's get a couple of more votes. Chester Busby, the host of the fan edition, of the fan edition of Drawn and Quartered, is posting the link for the straw poll. It doesn't cost you anything to vote. You don't have to sign into anything. Let's get some votes. Right. And Mike, did you get any more work done on Lone Star during the holiday?
I got a shutter, a drape, a cross, and a suit inked. I did that in about the last half an hour.
Let's see where we're at on the poll. It may be far enough along. Where it may be
let's give it 2 more minutes. It's 7:13 now. Let's give it till 7:15, and then we can rock and roll. Hey, everybody! Dan Fraga, my good friend over here, has enough subscribers on his page, Couch Doodles, to be monetized, but he does not have enough hours. If it's possible for you guys to sort of get on his page and run an autoplay, and just like get his hour. He's got a ton of freaking great stuff, so you can just like watch all of his freaking awesome videos. But if we had 171 people watching his stuff, we could probably take care of his hours like tonight.
That would be nuts.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds like a good plan.
Good dog. Sorry.
Actually, I
See
should
how
probably link to your page in there.
All right, let's check in on this poll. See if we're getting closer there on the vote tone. Oh, we're picking up a few, so we'll give it one more minute. Get your votes in now. Everybody have a good. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic, not just a good, but hopefully everyone had a fantastic Christmas.
Yeah, it was good.
Good one.
Trader beat me to it. All right, Pixel Trader and I are posting Dan's link up in the video in the chat. So hit that up, boys and girls. Mostly boys.
Yeah, you're gonna want to follow it. Anyhow, next year I've got a bunch of interviews that I've already done that I've gonna put up. I got Mike Mignola, Neil Adams, Rob Liefeld, Jim Mahfood, Mark Bagley, a bunch of other really great creators. Take a little peek inside their minds, see what makes them tick.
Nice. Why is my camera?
You're so blurry, Mike. You're so blurry.
Well, you know, I like to keep it blurry, and then at the end, just surprise everyone.
All right, Mr. Miller. I think this is a foregone conclusion.
All right, what is it?
All right. Well, and I'm just refreshing now, but let's see where we're. Okay. All right. Surprisingly enough, Boom Boom and Shatterstar tied for number 2, or for number 3. Domino tied for number 2, but far and away the winner was Cable.
Wow.
Cable.
I kind of thought Domino would have taken it, but that's fine.
All right, and for anyone who's not performed here before or hasn't in a while, remember your final drawing needs to be black and white or shades of gray, no color. Now, if you're used to doing your rough outs or your thin line pencils in blue or some other color, that is fine. But your final presentation needs to be black, white, shades of gray.
And ready, set, go.
All right.
Okay.
You have exactly 2 hours.
2 hours.
Which sounds like a lot of time until it is not.
Yeah, until it's.
All right. I sent Rob the link earlier, so hopefully he's watching.
Is someone stropping a razor? What are you doing?
Sharpening their wit.
Just in case anybody got confused, this is Drawn and Quartered. It's not the Lumberjack Festival.
Yeah, I think I just missed it. So we're drawing Cable, right?
Cable. Yes, not
Correct.
a Cable, the character Cable.
Cable. Is that the bionic guy?
Josh Brolin. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Yes, he's kind of like Inspector Gadget, but different.
Oh, okay.
And our audience is already screaming for pouches and more pouches. And not to presume to tell you gentlemen how to do your jobs, but I think if you're drawing cable, shoulder pads are always in order.
That is accurate.
Cannot forget those.
That would be funny to draw him as Jim Carrey. Is that too esoteric for many of you?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Mike?
Are you serious, John?
Yeah, why would you draw Cable as Jim Carrey?
Cable guy.
Oh, Cable guy.
Oh,
I get
shit.
it. Oh, it's been a while.
Yes, and for those of you born within the last 3 decades, that is what you call boomer humor.
Yeah, that's right. There we go.
That is a classic of horrible filmmaking.
Fraga, are you lining out in ink?
I'm just drawing the thing, man.
Nice.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, in your face, Edwin.
how he does that.
Nice.
Asking stupid questions.
Committing to the...
You're supposed to cut down the other artist, Malin, not Edwin.
Oh,
Yeah. He's like the ref, you know, you don't touch the ref.
Oh, it'll be all right. I'm not so fragile that little grumbling from puppy dog Malin will get me down.
that's right.
All right. Ellis went for some bold reference material. I like where you're going, Ellis.
Yeah, I think that will probably do me right there. Nice little jointed action figure.
Ellis, are you drawing in Photoshop this time?
Yeah, I'm in Photoshop, but I will be in black and white. I'll stick with the rules, even though they're made for breaking. I've heard that anyway.
All right. John Diller drawing like a man possessed.
That's just how I draw.
We got something from P Money.
Oh yeah? Well, let's take a look and see what we got here. We got some of that. We got some of that nice Canadian money from P Money.
I
We'll
prefer
see.
Canadian money to Canadian bacon.
We'll see. P Money says keep the show family friendly. Yeah, last week we did get just a little bit degenerate. Keep the show family friendly. No risque drawings. Ruth will ban me from the show last week. Don't tell her I'd like some of the drawings. Shh. And cultivating the roof boat. The roof boat is important.
Yeah, Malin, what was the big idea?
You got to give the fans what they want. They asked, I delivered.
Drawn and quartered fans like family-friendly material.
On Mike's channel, that's correct. It was family friendly. There was nothing inappropriate. It was all in good taste.
Whose family?
Oh, not yours.
Yeah, the sort of family that you conveniently always forget to invite to the reunion every year. All right, taking a look at Malin. Malin's going with something dynamic tonight, a little bit different.
Yeah, trying to get that good Rob action in here, or dynamic stance.
That would explain why there are no feet in the rough elf. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna staying true to the master.
Speaking of family friendly, as always, Mr. Ken Lee has that wonderful inspirational material. Yeah.
It's not going to do me much good for this one, but it's there.
Yeah, so far it appears that everyone's take on Cable is actually as a man.
Mm-hmm. That's far.
Yeah, am I going to get in trouble for gendering Cable? Is that all right? He is a cybernetic organism of some gender. How about that? That sounds appropriately vague. Oh, and Matt Cosset, as we focused in on him, decided to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm going to finish this one.
Right. Looking in at the Ryan Cardinal. Kind of got a different aesthetic than we've seen from Ryan thus far. There you go. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to put the cameras on free rotate. As soon as you speak, you will appear on the screen.
All right, so how was everybody's opinion about Brolin as Cable, or did you want the Clint Eastwood as Cable?
Oh, no, I thought he was great.
Yeah, he made me laugh a few times.
I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, all right.
You know, those movies are chemistry sets, you know? It's a Deadpool movie, and you got to have a guy that plays off Ryan Reynolds without overshadowing him. And I think he did that job quite well.
I dug the part where they were in the car together, and he knocks him down with that line about looking like a sex toy or something like that.
Keep it family friendly, Ellis.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't even sure
So he meant fornication toy, okay?
Wow. Oh, what?
No, I loved how Deadpool referred to him as Thanos.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here. P.S. Melter says, oh, this is a good one for Mr. Megalin. He says, Edwin, wow, a week that Malin cares. It's been weeks, man. I think he's only been drinking that 2% wolf milk.
Oh, yeah. No, I care. Oh, and everyone go check out the Christmas, A Christmas Carol audio that me, Mike, Edwin, Doug Tenaple, we all did a radio play. It's on my channel if you're interested.
Cool.
It's about an hour and 15 minutes long.
Yeah, that was great.
Effects, the whole deal.
Mind, huh? All right.
Yep, Kyung Lee was in it. Slick Jimmy. I mean, a lot of people from our little fandom here.
Yeah, it was really good.
Who was the best actor in everybody's opinion?
Cecil. Cecil played Scrooge, and he kind of ran away with it. Yeah.
I cracked up pretty good when Doug was like, grab my unwashed hand.
Yep, that was ad-lib there, and but I picked Doug because I knew there were lines about the hands in there. I'm like, oh, that'd be funny if Doug's in there because people make that connection. And then he threw that in. I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, somebody said that that Diversity in Comics did a great job as the Ghost of Christmas Future. How long did that thing take you to edit together, man?
Yeah, seriously.
A week. That's cutting out all the middle parts, you know, where everybody's just conversing, all the retake stuff, and the then taking, because I had like several different separate recordings of everybody, and I had to splice them all together. And then once I started layering in sound effects, I mean, it's a long time to find the right sound effect and, you know, the right kind of eerie background music and all that stuff. So, I mean, it took a solid week, like no joke, full-time job. So,
Yeah, it turned out great, man.
yeah, thanks.
That sounds
What are you
awesome.
doing?
We'll definitely have to check that out.
I'll catch up with that. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I thought it was going to take a day. But I wanted to be sure we had it done in time for everybody, and so I just had to commit to it. And yeah, it turned out about 90% of where I would have, you know, really liked to see it at. But hey, it's my first outing trying to, well, one, organize something like that and then execute something like that. So, you know, yeah.
Well, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, Malin did a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody participated.
Did you have to go in and change everybody's levels or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a bit of that, but I mean, I could have, like, you know, even now, if I listen to it, the final one on headphones, I'm like, yeah, I could have done a little more up and down on that stuff. Like I said, it's not 100%, but you know, it's in the ballpark.
I guess that's the thing that is guaranteed to bug me the most is on sound on podcasts. Is probably, you know, varying levels. I say that as we're on a podcast. We're probably being plagued by it as we speak. I'm probably the worst.
Yeah, well, no one wants to turn their volume up and down.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see, and we're missing a few people today. The Brightwisers were a little bit
under the weather.
And then let's see, Art is hard at work. He's got his nose to the grindstone. So we got to get Art back on the show. Definitely. Fraga may bring the boom, but Art brings the boomer.
Yeah, there's definitely not enough talk about the band Kiss on here.
I don't know why you guys like Kiss so much.
I like it more because Art likes it so much.
I feel like I should get reference.
I'm looking on IndieGoGo to see. Did the makers of Hero, did they suspend their project? HERO Hero? I'm not seeing it on IndieGoGo.
No idea.
I'm not aware.
He was like going into some sort of final push, wasn't he? I thought it sounded like a great idea. The story idea.
Oh, that's the kid-friendly book, right? With the
yeah.
I don't think he was intending to suspend it. I think maybe he was going to let it wrap. So I'd be surprised if it was suspended.
Right. If they relaunch, though, we need to try and help those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when they relaunch Hero, we definitely, because they're one of the few, you know, kid-friendly books. The art looks good, the story looks good, and just the amount of book they were offering for the money was fantastic.
Yeah,
I think it's just a tough time of year to launch a project. Yeah, but when they do relaunch, let's please everybody dig in and help promote those guys, because that would be good to see some kid friendly stuff get made. Let's see. Let's check in on a couple of projects. Where's the Meg at?
It's what do you mean? It's done.
Is the store closed?
Oh no! The store's not closed, but it's just like, you know, limping. It is that time of the year, man. It's like, if it wasn't for Black Friday and stuff, this would have been a disaster. I just don't think this is the time of year. You know, I think Hero and everything else that's out these, you know, Christmas months. If you didn't do a good Black Friday push, then it was just flatline. You know, it was a rough season. And that's why I don't suggest anyone start anything up until February or March. It was a gamble. We all knew that going in, launching in November.
Speaking of flatline projects, how's Lone Star doing?
Well, I had a nice little bump when Ben Shapiro mentioned me on his Twitter.
Oh, yeah. How'd that happen? How'd you make that happen? Ben Shapiro taking an interest.
I just reached out and said hello.
Wow.
You would.
I did. He's a big comic book nerd, so.
Oh, he's cool.
That's amazing. I wouldn't think somebody with that big a brain would have room for comics in it.
Well, I think even in Elon Musk, at least at some point, was into comics.
Well, yeah, and that guy that
but Ben
recently committed suicide. The traveling food guy.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, he was an actual comic book. He was a cartoonist.
He did a book with Ali Garza.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess, yeah, he was. Was he an actual cartoonist himself? Did he try to
I don't know.
Do the art?
No. No, but yeah, Shapiro's still a comic book fan. He read Injustice and everything. So.
Oh, nice.
Of course, I didn't know that when I emailed him.
All right, so there is one project we definitely need to push tonight since he's not here, and that is Sovereign by Andrew Huerta.
Who would be here, but he just had a baby.
Oh, boy. Congrats, Andrew.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And a valid excuse to miss Drawn and Quartered.
You better be here next week.
Yeah, sure he'll catch up on all his rest.
All right, I'm going to give the 60-second run through. All right. You have Mike Miller from Blacklist Universe.
That is odd.
You have Dan Fraga, who has a comic book coming out from IDW, The Brave.
Are you locking in on them as we go?
Dan, is it Fraga or Frega?
Frega, like Sega.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Frega.
What?
I like Fraga better. Can we read
I've heard them all.
5 years, and that is the first time I've ever heard that.
Frega.
All right. We have Eric Hudson from Rowdy Roddy Piper, The Kilted Avenger.
Yes, sir.
Right. We have Mr. Ellis. How are you doing tonight, Ellis?
Doing good. The comic book I'll be working on, or I am working on right now, doing breakdowns on, is called Locust Hole. It's a kind of a Lovecraftian Western.
All right. And they asked for a 60-second rundown. We have John Dillard gaming the system, and he is gaming the competition. You guys better get busy.
Yeah, you better
check on what everybody else's looks like.
I heard somebody else came and won the pro edition that was a fan, so I had to come back here and do it again, I guess.
He was afraid I'd double him up.
All right. And we have Mr. John Mailer.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I'm checking everybody now. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Okay. From Battle Maiden Knucklebomb, we have Kyung Lee.
Hey.
From Agenda, we have Matt Cussett.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, I didn't understand the concept. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks for backing Agenda. We made it.
And we have the Ryan Cardinal. I tell you what, man, the Ryan Cardinal and John Dillard are bringing it. Please don't get schooled by the fan champs again. This is not looking good for the pros. All right, and we already have 20 minutes elapsed, so you have 1 hour and 40 minutes remaining. Dan, I have a question for you, and I don't even know what this means. He says, ask Frigga to explain what it means to wax the cuttiyak.
I thought this was a family show.
Oh, all right. Then we do not want the answer to that.
The answer.
Therein lies the answer. That's an old schooler there asking that question. That's a good one.
Yeah, I still have to say that Frigga Boom does not have the same resonance as Fragaboom.
Well, it's Fragaboom. That's being said correctly. But my last name is Frega. So Fragaboom is quite fine.
I think it would go a long way with everybody if you just let everybody call you Fraga.
Yeah. Been called worse.
As long as you buy his book, call him whatever you want. No, gonna dive back into the chat once again. Hopefully everyone had a beautiful Christmas. Seems like this year has rushed by for us, Mark.
Oh, it's been a year. Every year.
When did we start promoting Lone Star?
Was that June or July?
Wow. And that is only its way to the printers. So
well, it's at the printer.
Oh, right.
Files are done and at the printer. So yeah.
And do the kids know that they've got some hard labor, some sweatshop days ahead of them?
Sweatshop days ahead.
They'll figure it out.
They'll know soon enough.
Because it looks like you have 2,239 unique backers. That is that's a package or two.
It's a lot of packing.
I look forward to my days.
You pack or you don't eat.
Very good. I love it. And so, not to put any pressure on you, Dan, but the audience is saying Frega is killing it.
Oh, that's very kind. Very kind.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, Dan. I gotta just. I couldn't draw straight with pen. I can never ever do it.
The first thing you got to do is get the idea that you can never do it out of your head, and believe that you can, and then start with that.
You just have to believe.
That's right. Yeah, have a dream. Follow that dream.
I do believe in drawing with pen. I do.
See, Dillard, are you already laying down some ink yourself here?
Oh yeah. This is cable. This is the stuff you draw when you were a kid, all the way up to you're an adult. Like muscle memory.
What is that noise?
What the hell is that noise?
Matt, is someone trying to interrogate you with a kitchen appliance? What is happening over there?
What noise is it?
Sounded like somebody was beating you with a bag of marbles.
Beating you with a bag of ducks.
I don't think that's me. I'm fine.
It's you,
Let me
Matt.
see.
I saw your mic.
Nice.
Burn.
Malin always comes equipped with at least 2 rolls of dimes. Your sins will be revealed.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
You're not afraid to dime out your fellow competitors.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I'll throw you guys right onto the bridge.
Malin, going big and bold.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check in on Karen Lee. I don't know, Mr. Lee. May need more shoulder pads.
I don't think your reference is helping you.
And maybe just a few more pouches. And for some reason, every time I pan over to Matt's, to Matt's drawing, he's already erasing. I feel like I'm jinxing you, Matt.
Nah, I love erasing, man. Erasing's part of my drawing process. I collect erasers like crazy, and I gotta use them. It's my Control Z.
Oh, gentlemen, it looks like the Ryan Cardinal is going to give us a little bit extra here.
Well, if you can't draw a cable, you might as well draw a cable and Shatterstar.
This is true.
Look at his placement. He's going to draw all of X.
Whatever it takes.
He's gaming the system. Dillard, you're slacking.
I don't think that I'm slacking.
Dillard's just over there doing a by the numbers convention sketch. So yeah, I said slacking.
What do you want? What do you want? Gold here? I'm doing this for free.
Dynamics. Anything other than a headshot. But you do you, John. You do you.
Well, nobody else will.
Yeah, exactly.
Family friendly.
Yeah, everybody else has standards. You're right.
Ellis, for the record, what is your full name?
Goodson.
Don't dox him.
Ellis Goodson.
He ain't afraid.
Oh.
Chester is making up the voting poll.
Okay.
All right. And again, Chester Busby is the host of the fan edition of Drawn and Quartered. So if you tune into his channel on YouTube, and he's provided a link tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you can see the fan edition of Drawn and Quartered. And don't let the fan edition fool you back. You will often see very high level quality on the fan edition. And in fact, John Dillard and Ryan the Cardinal, or the Ryan Cardinal, earn their spots here from the fan edition.
And the concept is they repeat whatever is done here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
And with this level of execution, they both earn their spot back at the fan edition.
Well, you know, it was sad. We went to the pro edition, but then John Malin was the only pro there. So what are we supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Although it will not be that many months for either of you, I guess, till you could fairly call yourselves professionals. Dillard, when do you think you're going to be sending your book to the printer?
Well, we're sending the book to the printer essentially 2 weeks after the completion of the IndieGoGo.
Ah, nice. Very nice.
And the IndieGoGo is going to be dropping February 1st and completing April 1st.
Let's see. Mrs. Gaming the System says fan edition. talks better smack than the pros.
That's true.
Oh, really?
Well, we let our art do the smack talking, right, John?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, what?
Who did what?
Actually, I think Dan said that to me earlier.
All right, as you're looking on YouTube, the person to my left is Ellis Goodson. The person to my right, who's to my right? Who's drawing that is Eric Hudson, known as the world's greatest Rowdy Roddy Piper fan and the creator of Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger.
Enough said.
All right, gentlemen, 31 minutes have elapsed.
You know Ronda Rousey from your Piper involvement?
I wish. I'm post that era, so so it's my wrestling connections are more of the his when he was in his prime than current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus, he's like MMA, not like.
Yeah, but apparently,
she's in WWE now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I believe she was a pretty good friend of Rowdy's.
Yeah, he bequeathed the Rowdy namesake to her.
That's right.
She comes out in a leather jacket and different music, but she comes out in a leather jacket and she's got a skirt on that looks like a kilt. So she's doing the gimmick.
Yeah, she was another one of those fascinating mixed martial artists that had just this superb
crap beat out of her. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. But she had this talent for the ground game, and then tried to become the ultimate striker. It's like, what are you thinking? I used to think the same thing about BJ Penn. It's like, what are you thinking? You get any one of those guys down on the ground, you win.
Yeah, she never trained to get hit in the face, unfortunately.
Yeah. Holly Holm did a lot of that. Or did enough of it anyway.
Yeah, that was a brutal head kick.
I think it was Nunez too when she Ronda tried to make her comeback, and
yep, that's right. Yep, she.
I saw BJ Penn's brother fight here at one of our local arenas. He was an MMA competitor for a little bit.
That's right. So, you're in Hawaii. You would know all about BJ Penn.
Yeah. He used to. Well, we used to live right down the street from his gym. We lived on the Big Island. But his brother, his brother never really got well known nationally. But I saw a guy shoot in for a single leg takedown on him, and he just stood up into it. It was just a thing of beauty. And the guys kind of froze there trying to hold on in a single leg, and he just stepped into it and then just rung his bell. It was beautiful.
Yeah, those I just am amazed by the backstory on the BJ Penn stuff. It's like, those guys were all taking the arrows. They were having to learn their jiu-jitsu from guys that weren't telling them everything they could learn, really. They were being tricky about it, kind of like piecing it out a bit at a time. And yet BJ Penn, like he takes less than a year to get his black belt, which fairly often takes about 5 years. And if that, and he goes over to Brazil and mops up in some sort of real well thought of contest. It's like, okay, you are the phenom.
Yeah, you can't deny those kind of facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just we have a real strong martial arts culture here. Hey, two of the guys who work for our company. One of them has an amateur championship belt here in Hawaii, and another has he's got the champion of a smaller promotion here. He's got the heavyweight championship belt. I mean, it is just so much of it here.
Lord.
Word.
Do they walk around in karate outfits too all day long?
Yeah, little geese with nunchucks.
You don't understand, brother. When you're one with the spirit, you know.
They walk around with a hard hat and some work boots because they want to get paid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to have another job.
You mean you can't beat people up for a living?
There's only so many restaurants that'll hire you for protection.
Let's see. From the audience we have Headrock saying, "I'm blanking out. Maybe someone can answer this. Who's the comic skater who actually drew Cable? Who would that be?"
That would be me.
Me, Art T. Bear, and John Malin.
And Matt Cox.
Actually, if you want to do it in order, Art T. Bear, me, and then John Malin.
Yes.
Oh, in order.
Yeah, well, Art started with issue 1, then I did issue 12, and then when did you do yours, Malin? Like 300?
150.
Wow. So this is not really fair then, huh? Cable artist.
Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Right. Is Mike making fun of John Malin for being not old?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry I was born after you, old man.
It's all right. It's all right. You're forgiven.
All right. Let's pan through again and see where everybody's at. All right. Taking a look at Mike Miller. See what Mr. Mike has got.
I was thinking.
It's tonight you got a brand new microphone, but it looks like one of your kids actually plugged in the potato instead of the camera.
Oh, really? Not coming through? Let me see.
Let me squint a little bit, and no.
That must be.
Well, hang on. Maybe on YouTube. Sometimes it's clear. Nope. It's
freaking ridiculous.
I can see a little bit of a nose, a gun, and an eyeball.
It's the bandwidth because they're all playing crap. They're not.
There's a simple solution to that, you know.
Oh, let us check in on Dan Fragaboom Fraga.
How does this look?
Disqualified. Damn it, Dan.
Is that Mega Man right there?
You had to invite him, huh, Mike?
Mike Chester says that you shop at Potatoes R Us. Maybe on to something there, Chester. Potatoes R Us.
Wow, nobody gives you crap for roboting out every 50 seconds.
All right, and this is Dan Fraga. All right, let's check in on Mr. Eric Hudson.
Who we're on?
Here I am.
Coming right along. All right, since Ellis is already talking to us, let's check in on him.
Yeah. I've got a little blue underdrawing. I'll take it places that may not be evident right now, but I'll take it there.
All right. And you have got 1 hour and 20 minutes to get
I got plenty of time.
All right.
That's what you think.
Let us check in.
It goes
Let's
by.
check in on John Dillard gaming the system.
Hey, how's it going?
And if you listen closely, you may not be able to hear it, but the sound of taps is playing Pearl Harbor. You hear that wafting through the window. All right. Let us check in on Mr. John Malin. All right.
Yeah. Oh, here, let me zoom out so people can see it. Boom.
Very nice. All right. Let's check in on Kyung Lee. Give YouTube a chance to catch up with it. Go. This is Kyung Lee. Very nice. All right. I'm almost afraid to check in on Matt. I feel like he's going to be erasing something.
Nah, I'm inking. I am inking.
And this
I'm about to erase. Thanks for the warning.
This is Matt Cusson, one of the co-creators of Agenda. He's the artist for Agenda, currently on IndieGoGo. All right, and let's check in with the Ryan Cardinal. All right, the Ryan Cardinal, not just satisfied with cable, has added in a Shatterstar. Let's see how that works out for him. He will have time to complete both. Ryan, you have 1 hour and about 18 minutes remaining.
All right.
Cable getting a little bit of a trim. Yeah, we get a high level of competition tonight. Let's see. Tatooine says, yeah, but who drew Cable best? Well, we don't have Art T. Bear here tonight, but at least between Mr. Mike Miller and John Malin, you, the fans, will be able to answer that question, at least on this evening.
Answer is Rob.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller, I am going to step away from the computer for just a minute.
Oh, I got some more.
Oh, you had one of those cookies. Does that want any better? Here. I made these some up for the instructors. We have some left. Are you drawing or are you watching somebody draw?
I'm drawing.
I think my cable's looking a little too much like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What do you think of it? Okay?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
He would have made a really good 80s Cable had the Deadpool movie been made in the 80s.
Yeah.
80s. When was Cable created?
89, 90.
Yeah, 89. That's what I was thinking. Oh man, this paper freaking sucks.
Do you guys drink eggnog?
No.
Nope.
I have never had any desire to drink eggnog. It just sounds gross.
Yeah, it does. Well, isn't that interesting? So you haven't tried it, and yet it sounds gross. I'm in the exact same boat.
Dude, it's like a better tasting horchata.
Oh, really?
Horchata.
Yeah.
Oh, no one knows what that is.
Everyone in California knows what.
No one in Michigan, yeah.
I lived in California for like 3 years. I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes.
It's like a cinnamon milk drink.
Yeah, it's rice milk.
Yeah.
With cinnamon, sugar.
I just had some today.
And magic.
And magic.
How about all this rum and this eggnog and nobody's helped me drink it? I gotta drink it myself. Oh man.
We'll get
First world problems.
Poor me, right?
Dan, who do you still keep in contact with from Extreme?
Rob, Marat every now and then, Todd Knock, who else? Andre Kromoff.
Oh, I don't know.
He was one of the original colorists. Let's see, Snakebite.
Oh yeah.
Shannon Denton. Carl Altstetter.
I forgot Shannon was at Extreme.
Oh yeah, he was there. He's definitely there.
How about Norm?
I don't talk to Norm that often. I see him at shows, but I don't really talk to him.
Yeah, you're right, Dan.
What's that?
I mean, what are you going to do the rest of the time?
Jeez. What the heck are you doing?
I told Dan,
I'm adding robots.
We have 2 hours to draw, and he's like, what do you do with the rest of the time?
You punk.
I'm like, you make a double-page spread, Dan. That's what you do. Double-page spread.
I'll add some other robots in the background.
You can probably just finish up a couple comic pages while you're waiting.
So how did you learn to do that, Dan?
It started off with asking the question of why can't I do it? And it basically broke down to a couple of answers. Number one was I didn't have the visual vocabulary that is required to draw anything on command. So there's that problem. Then there's the really difficult problem that I think every artist faces, which is having that thing that's in your mind's eye stay there long enough to capture it. So that there was, kind of that like, okay, how do I make the things that are in my head stay there? And then there was the how do I make sure that what I see and what I draw are the same thing? A lot of times people would copy something that's in front of them and it still looks warped, right? And you go, well, what is that? What causes that? Because what if you have something really cool in your head, but you still can't translate it? And then the very final thing was that feeling of perfectionism that we all go through, which is being married to the results of what we do. And a lot of people get so caught up in having everything be perfect. Every page in their sketchbook has to be a piece of art, and everything that they draw better be good, otherwise they'll be judged or whatever. And so you got to get that notion out of your mind. So I tackled each thing sort of one at a time of like, okay, well, how do I acquire a visual vocabulary that has full retention, and so I kind of thought of ways to actively observe things. You know, I go through like a little checklist of thinking of things from big to small. You know, you see the thing finished in your mind first, and then you break it down into the relationships of the shapes to one another, and then you kind of prioritize breaking that down. And I do that when I look at anything. If I look at a car, you go, what makes that car a car? Like if you look at a Ford versus a Chevy, there are certain aspects of its silhouette or its grille shape or the way the mirrors are, that you can draw those simple things and people will know it's a Chevy. So it's identifying those sort of those hallmarks of design, or the hallmarks of what makes a thing, whether it's a panda bear, a giraffe, a piece of broccoli, whatever. You kind of break them down into their simplest forms. And then the next thing, which like I was saying, was the getting the thing in your head to stay longer. That was kind of understanding what makes our brains work and what can be done to strengthen that. And what we do every day is we daydream, so we can imagine things. You know, you can imagine in all five senses. You can imagine what an orange tastes like, or a Krispy Kreme donut if you've had one, fresh, hot. You know, and it's not there; it doesn't exist, but your brain can recall it. So it's about taking note of those things and recreating them in your brain to the point where you do something called image streaming, which is saying out loud what it is that you see, or the sensations that you have while you're daydreaming, and you record them, and then you play them back and you listen to them, and when you listen to them back, you imagine you're seeing them, experiencing them again, and then you write it down by hand. Anyway, what that does is it creates a habit for your brain. Kind of like the way I explain it to people is, if I told you to go run 2 miles right now, chances are you probably couldn't. But if you ran as far as you could today, and then tomorrow add 5 feet, and the next day add 5 feet, eventually you'll get to the point where you're doing the 2 miles, and you won't. The thought of not being able to do it doesn't even occur to you. So you got to get into the habit of that, and what happens is your brain will assimilate and kind of follow through with that. The thing about drawing what you see. How many of you guys have heard of the drawing on the right side of the brain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Betty something or other, isn't it?
Yeah, Betty Edwards, that's right. She had a segment that she took from Nicoletti's Natural Way to Draw called blind contour drawing.
Yeah.
It's where you draw the thing in front of you without looking at your actual drawing.
Right.
What I've done with that is I've kind of hijacked it in a way where I'll run a bunch of like a slideshow that these slides may last like 15 seconds or whatever. And I'll just blindly look at the picture and pretend my eyeball is a laser beam and my pencil is the stylus, and I'll just go and trace over those forms, so to speak. The paper itself looks like a crazy mess, but what ends up happening is you start to have what you see and what you get line up a lot more clearly. So it was a combination of those things. And then the other thing you can do, which is a whole lot of fun, it's scary at first, but if you just say to yourself, I am only going to draw this week in pen. I'm only going to use a pen. What ends up happening is you're, at first, there'll be a lot of resistance. No, I don't want to do this. Your brain will say, go take a hike. I'm not doing this. But after a while, the stuff just clicks, and it just happens. So anyway, that's the short version of it.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much, Mike.
So I'm hearing it's an overnight thing. Am I hearing
Yes.
that?
Yeah. Just take a pill and drink this drink, and you'll be right as rain.
All right, give that to me. Yeah, because I've never. It's weird. I've never even like pictured stuff in my head. I always just work stuff out on paper.
Yeah, having it in your mind is pretty cool, and I think a lot of it has to do with like my day job is a storyboard artist, so I have to read the written word and work with the director in visualizing something that doesn't exist. And the very first time I ran into this situation was about maybe 14 years ago. I was working on a job for Adidas, and it involved this floating soccer pitch in space, and these guys running around on the floating lines, kicking and stuff. And I drew all these dynamic shots with the shoes and thought it was the coolest thing because it was super dynamic and everything. And I had the producer call me and yell at me, saying that I had my head up my ass. This is a bunch of pretty nonsense gibberish. None of this makes sense. If this guy is here and he kicks there, the ball would go here. And he basically called me on the fact that I had no spatial relation in any of it. Like I was just drawing cool stuff for cool sake, but like I'm upfield, now I'm downfield, now I'm left, now I'm right. And how did it get from here to here? So I said, wow, I just didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of the space in a continuity sort of way. You know, I'm so used to drawing flat drawings and thinking about the design of a page with the inverted Z that I didn't really think about the space in a 3D sense and track that space. So when you get into that kind of place, you start seeing it almost as if it's real. Or that it's already happened, and that's when it becomes ultra important to be able to see the thing first.
So, what are your views on unicorns, Dan?
Unicorns,
unicorns and werewolves.
Unicorns probably existed at one point. There's too many pieces of mythology from different places that say that they existed. So unicorns are real, especially fat ones.
My boy.
Fat ones. The Wolfman. Well, you know, I've seen some hairy dudes that very much could have been wolf people. I don't know. I think a lot of legend exists in truth. You know, so who knows? They might have existed. Do they still exist? Probably not. Maybe they're in hiding. Who knows?
All right,
what are your opinions on unicorns?
Let me share something real quick. I just happened to duck into Twitter, and one of our audience members, Chris Sketch, said, "Didn't have much time for a full draw along, but here is my drawn and quartered tribute for this week." So there is a goodly supply of pouches and some silver phones.
Nice.
Nice.
And that is from Chris Sketch. He's watching us in the audience tonight.
Thank you, Chris. We needed some extra pouches. Never go wrong with pouches and shoulder pads.
Yeah, my view is unicorns are definitely not real, not in the horse sense, and werewolves are 100% real.
Wow, that's a big split. Now, where do you draw the line? I mean,
the back
tell
hole.
me about
werewolves. See, there's something you may not know is that werewolves are made. They aren't born, and they're made in a particular way. Malin can tell you about how they're made off channel.
Being that this is a family show.
Right. Right. We can talk the science somewhere else.
Science.
Let's see. We have a $4.99 super chat from Cafe Stark, and he says, "Hey Edwin, Edwin, is drawn and quartered on tonight. I've heard more trash talking at a quilting bee.
Wow, man. Tell him if we wanted any lip from him, we'll peel it off our zippers.
Dan Friga is still learning the format of the program. He's on here talking about all these positive things, about how you two can do things, about drawing technique, about the left brain, the left, right, the front, and the rear brain, and brain holes and such.
Brain holes.
Oh man, rear brain hole.
We may have forgotten to brief him that trash talking is strongly encouraged. And that is
give me some examples.
Trash talking not to the audience, but to your fellow competitors.
You have to know things about your competitors to trash talk them.
No, you trash talk their art.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't come out and say, like, you know, when I met Dan, he looked like Vanilla Ice, and now he looks like Mr. Clean. That would be unacceptable.
That would be an insult to Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
Follow up.
Yep.
Too cold.
That sounds like some sort of Bendis like transformation. It's unfortunate.
I got a bendicitis.
Oh,
what is that sound?
Sharpie.
Sounds like the driest pen on the planet.
Yeah.
Sharpie is not archival ink.
All right, let's go down the line again and reintroduce our competitors. Since I think we are just past the 1 hour mark, so you have less than an hour to go. Right, this is Mike Miller from the Blacklist universe.
I have an hour to ink. An hour. I'll get there.
Is someone making like a wood etching? What is that sound?
Yeah, good one.
All right, and his first time on Drawn and Quartered, we have Dan Fragaboom Fraga, bringing the heat.
Killing me, Dan.
Right.
Killing me.
It's Dan. It is a very good thing to come into a man's own home and embarrass him. It's fantastic. Right. And we have Eric Hudson.
You.
And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see 7 pouches on your cable.
I got more to add.
Needs more pouches. All right, let's check in with Ellis Goodson.
I've revised it. I'm going down to just pleasing shapes. You know, I'll work from the inside out. We'll see if that
you were
works.
doing a John Malin silhouette thing.
Yeah.
Should. You'll win. Yeah, just put like 10% light on that now, Ellis, and top 3 right there.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to light his eyes.
There you go. It's a winner, baby.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's check in on John Dillard gaming the system. Surely he will have some trash for his fellow competitors.
Yeah, how can you draw fan art for 2 hours? Let's see how it turns out.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still asleep from that damn story. My God.
I enjoyed that lecture. It was a TED Talk.
Meditative.
Yeah.
Meditative.
No, man.
All right, the shoulder pads are looking nice. I think, though, I only see 3 pouches.
There are no less than 9 pouches on this picture so far. Thank you.
Are there all the pouches built into the shoulder pads? Is that?
Oh, no, there's also more pouches down here in the belt. You didn't see them?
Oh, okay. I see them now. Very good. When in doubt, add pouches. Right, let us check in on Mr. John Malin.
Yep. Coming along pretty decent, I guess. I think. But, cable, as Rob would have intended.
Just going for a classical cable. Well, and let us check in on Kyung Lee. I see he's laying down some blacks. Now, if you take the blacks 3/4 of the way up the page, you have the classic Gary Shipman. What kind of brush are you using, Kyung Lee?
This is just a bargain bin Dollar Tree brush.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, let's check in on Mr. Matt Cussing.
Not erasing. I got the pencils.
You stopped erasing?
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
All right, I see an ammunition belt. Got some good shoulder pad going on there. Where are the pouches?
Matt, what have you been drawing this whole time? Is that it?
Oh, this is my second one I'm going in on.
Jeez.
I did Shatterstar and then I just put them aside.
All right, let's check in on the Lion Cardinal. All right, I see a cable. I see a Shatterstar, and then it looks like a domino may be emerging in the background.
Slowly making her way.
Boy.
What you can't do in quality, do in quantity.
That is my motto.
There you go.
You have 53 minutes remaining, so we'll see how this choice works out. So, Dan, when you were talking about composition and talking about the 3-dimensional space and placement of stuff, I was actually looking at the cover.
Really going to go back to that? Is what you're doing?
Yeah, we're going to go back to it just for a second because it involves a little trash talk, and you don't have to join in. You don't have to join in.
Here we go.
But I was looking at the cover of the newly relaunched X-Force today, and I'm a huge fan of the Cannonball character, Sam Guthrie. Loved him from New Mutants when I was a kid. The way they have him drawn on the cover, it looks like he's trying to get out of the issue. It looks like he doesn't want any part of that particular issue. Looks like he's just trying to get off the page.
I haven't seen it. I didn't go to my store today. I need to go.
Yeah, today was kind of a light day. Very few. If you don't count variants and such, today was a very light day at the local comic stores.
Which is kind of odd. You would think people have Christmas money, you know?
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
New Mutants was your favorite book. This must be your favorite drawn and quartered ever.
It's ranking right up there. We'll see how you gentlemen close it out. I gotta say, good call bringing on Mr. Frager.
I don't know. I'm starting to regret it. Don't bother muting your mic.
He's just arresting
Ellis?
that.
No, that's not me.
Ellis, just whistle twice if you broke a hip, Ellis.
No, it wasn't me.
Hope it wasn't another break and entry in that. Like that first time I was on that happened.
Yeah, I was happy to see that they had relaunched X-Force, I guess, but I know art is subjective. It was just not what I was expecting.
Yeah, they really used sort of an indie book style artist on it. It's kind of the best way I could describe it. It doesn't look like something you'd expect from like a mainstream Marvel title.
So they picked somebody who sucks and they rushed it.
No, I mean it's just really stylistic. I can't say the art is bad. I mean, It's
it's
really,
consistent. It's just
it's not
when you
what
think of X-Force. Yeah.
It's like turning Jeff Lemire loose on it, or what? Because I really dug my experience with Essex County recently. That was pretty good. Have you guys read that?
No.
No. But I'm saying, like, I love the Ramirez brother. Gilbert and Jaime
Rodriguez.
Is it
Hernandez.
Hernandez. What am I thinking? Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to see them drawing X-Men.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mike, can I share the cover for that book? Would that get us in trouble?
No. Go ahead.
Marvel's website.
All right, I'm back. What did I miss? I had to get more rum.
That's a good idea.
We were talking about some of the choices that Marvel has made for the relaunch of the X-Force book, and so the cover is good. The cover's good. It's a different style, but it's good.
Is it the same artist? That's not the same artist.
No, it's not the same artist.
Yeah.
What do the insides look like?
I'll show you in just 1 second. So this looks good. It has an interesting color palette. Deathlock looks good. Everybody looks pretty cool. Cable's a kid for some reason. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, that's Cannonball, Sam Guthrie. It looks like he's trying to get out of the book. You're like, nope. And let me show you why he's trying to get out of the book. I will show you. I'm on Marvel's website. This is... Do you see what I'm looking at, Malin?
Yeah.
So this is the new X-Force art, and it is it's interesting.
I'm only seeing the cover. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. Is that like Adam Molina? Who is that?
Let's see who is on this team for the interior arts.
See, I could see that like in a Sandman book or something.
Dylan Burnett.
Yeah, it's not bad art. It's just whatever. It's not really what me personally I want to see in a Cable book. So, yeah. But I don't think Marvel really knows what to do with Cable. So they keep trying to make it into this indie thing. Even on my series, they wanted it to be almost like a noir detective story, and it's like, look, man, all you gotta do is go balls to the walls with it. That's it.
Yeah. So again, I'm not saying it's bad, and I know a lot of stuff like this is so subjective, but it's just not what leaps to mind when I think of the X-Force.
Yeah, I think the best X-Force issues came out around 1999, something like that.
I like what Capullo did on X-Force. I thought those were good issues, like 16 through 25 or whatever. Those are pretty good.
Justin Ward, can Edwin critique art or comics at all? I'm just trying to avoid talking trash about an artist who's not here.
Well, again, I don't think the artist is it's just the subject. It's not a good combo. It's well done. It's just not the subject matter.
It doesn't fit.
Maybe it's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think we are.
The editor's job is to match the right artist with the right book. I thought, as much as I loved Humberto Ramos, when they put him on DV8, I thought that was a huge mistake.
Yeah. All styles, and all compositions do not necessarily go with each.
Where's my pen?
Right. How we do it on time here. Gentlemen, you have 45 minutes remaining.
I only need 44. Dan is going to take a nap.
I'm having a bourbon.
1 bourbon, 1 scotch, and 1 beer.
It all adds up.
Looks like Mr. Hodson made the right choice and added some pouches. I love it.
Yep, I'm going with the traditional lit field, if that's not a real gun style. Let's do that.
So we got a bourbon drinker and we've got a rum drinker, huh?
Yeah, man.
It's my day off, you know. Don't pay me like a hardened alcoholic or anything.
We're looking at Mr. John Malin.
Yeah. Filling in some blacks. Make it pop. I'm going to just black out everything I drew.
That's what I did.
Sounds like a wise move, John.
Right, checking in on Kyung Lee.
Kyung, every time I look at yours, you're covering up more art with black.
I have a plan.
You're just gonna just title it Akuma is what you're gonna do?
So we have an observation from the chat, Mr. Megalon. This comes from one of our moderators, Jiminy Cricket. He says,
brother, it's about feet.
He says, John. He says John Malin actually drew Cable for money, right?
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, that's sarcasm. Gotcha.
Very good. Well, if the pros don't bring the rib shots, then the audience will supply them.
That's fine.
Bring them.
A lot of glasses clinking in the background.
Well, I'm drinking my rum out of a Res Solo cup, so it ain't me. I'm trashy.
Solo.
Very festive, though.
Isn't it?
All right. We're looking at Matt Cousin.
What a jerk this guy is. You can't put the bullets in that way. How's he going to get them off?
It's a space gun.
All right. And the Ryan Carton.
It's from the future, for crying out loud. Those bullets.
You sure you don't want to throw a Pokemon in the back, too, while you're at it?
Oh, that's a good idea. Detective Pikachu.
Well, and gentlemen, you have 42 minutes remaining. Mike, you're barely talking. Are you trying hard now?
Shut up, dude.
It's hard work.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail on Cable, you know. It's going to take time. It takes concentration.
This is almost the quietest our competitors have ever been.
Isn't it drawing Cable almost like just like busy work?
Yeah.
It is. I'm just sitting here just drawing lines and lines, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Who's the smart guy that invented this? Who created Cable? Who is that?
Rob
It's
Liefeld.
Liefeld.
It was Liefeld? He did it?
Yeah.
He's still making money on it, I think.
Yeah. Whoever
He's
asked
one of
that,
those guys that somehow engaged Marvel and figured out a way to make them pay.
Can we boot whoever asked that?
I think they still don't pay as well as DC. But Dan's the smart one. He got out of the comic book business.
Yeah.
Oh, but every time I try to get out, I get pulled back in again.
Are you seriously back to playing with your Rubik's Cube?
I am.
Dang gummit, dude. Killing me.
Sorry, man.
That sounds
It's either
like
that or granola bar.
What kind of subtle way can I indicate that I'm a genius?
That's beautiful. That's the best of the
That
evening.
is beautiful. Shit. Good times.
All right, and so Dan, we had a question from the chat.
Yeah.
Paul Mobius wants to know if can you ask Dan if there is any update with Black Flag?
Oh, Black Flag, yeah. I have been working very hard on writing an 80-page story, and the outline is done. Got to expand it out, break it down. I'm going to be doing things very old school. I've got a guy named Ken Brusniak. He used to letter The Punisher and a lot of great Marvel comics. He's going to be lettering the stuff on the board. So I've got to get it all penciled out, laid out, and send him a bunch of pages. And anyway, yeah, it's moving along.
Nice.
All right, now, how will that be delivered? How will that be delivered to readers?
Probably through crowdfunding of some sort.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. And is that likely for 2019 or?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. I think the crowdfunding thing, through what you guys have done has really been a good example of what could be done. Especially with a guy like me, I haven't been on the stands with narrative work since August of 2002. So that's, a whole generation of readers that don't know who I am. It's a whole bunch of retailers that don't know who I am. So I think going right for the people that know what Black Flag is, the people that want it, it's a bit of a no-brainer to do it that way, to do it directly with the audience first,
Dan,
to give it a fighting chance.
Dan, it's the exact same people as it was back then. Except for the ones who have left. They have not brought new people into this industry as readers. That's kind of been the complaint. Yeah, man. You go in a comic book shop, it's like everybody's our age. There's no teenagers. There's no kids in there. There's no growth in the direct market, and that's part of why it's so great, because it's like
I had talked to Todd McFarlane about bringing his inks to the cover, like he did for me back in 1993, and his response to me was only if it was an Image book, and I said, that's great. I understand you're an Image founder and you want it to be there. I said, but Image also turned down The Grave. They didn't necessarily turn it down. They basically ignored it. They ignored my submission. And I'd been with Image before Image was Image.
Yeah.
I was there before Youngblood 1 ever came out. So to me, I didn't feel slighted in any sort of way. I realized it's a different world. And IDW was a good home for it, but in the same breath, like I'm saying, there are a lot of hurdles to go through when you're going through the direct market. So I have to rely on any promotion that I do that a retailer will know about it. If the retailer knows about it, he's going to bank on whether or not he can sell copies, and then from that the print run is derived. Well, that's a lot of work to find out if your print run can't support the work you did, as far as like paying your bills. Whereas something like crowdfunding, if you plan strategically how much you need to pay your bills, pay your creative team, pay your printer, pay your shipping, and all of that, then you can actually create something that does work, that makes your time worth it. And when I say that, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm coming back to comics because I want to draw comics, and I've said this before. If I was offered the X-Men or Spider-Man or Batman, these choice books, my answer would be no. And that's because what makes me excited about drawing comics is authorship and creative freedom, and being able to have autonomy. And those are big toys that belong to other people. And even if you knock it out of the park, let's say you knock it out of the park, you're the greatest thing since Frank Miller's Batman. It doesn't matter if they make a movie out of it. You're not really going to participate in its success in the way you would had you created it yourself.
Right.
So
Very
anyway,
smart.
And yes, we are that choir.
Yeah, I figured you guys would relate.
A couple of simple observations. Is Black Flag a superhero comic book?
Black Flag is a eclectic blend of characters that I wanted to draw when I first created it. Back when Rob Liefeld had hit us all up, he wanted to do this book called Extreme, and in that book, he said, "I want you guys to create your own thing." And I'm a fan of Spider-Man. I'm a fan of G.I. Joe. I'm a fan of Bubblegum Crisis. I'm a fan of Gorillas. I'm a fan of drawing kids, and I'm a fan of like Doctor Strange. So I thought, well, why can't I make an amalgamation of the things I want to draw and then create a story around it? That was 25 years ago. I was a kid. I was barely 20 years old when I came up with it. Now coming back to it 25 years later, there's actually a real story behind it. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're superheroes per se. They're more of eclectic blend of all things cool.
Oh, hey, that's what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was.
There you go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are superhero adventure comic book.
No,
I
mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a combination of all the popular things at the time. It was mutants and
it was Ronin, Daredevil,
Teen Titans, and X-Men. The mutant part. The X-Men.
As long as you have a good sales pitch, if the quality of your art or if the quality of your storytelling matches up to the quality of your art, there's no reason you would probably make 4 times as much publishing yourself, through IndieGoGo than you would through Image. And there's nothing stopping you.
Dan, tell them how much you made on that. What was that one book that you did and you ended up making like $80 on it?
Oh, it was, which book are you talking about? You talking about the last book that I did?
Yeah, I just remember. I don't remember specifically what it was. I just remember seeing a video of you talking about how you spent.
Yeah, it was
time.
It was the last one. It was Gear Station number 5. I paid everybody. I paid a scripter. I paid a colorist. I paid my CGI guy. I paid the printers. Had to pay Image their $2,500, and when all was said and done, I made maybe a couple $100 for a month's worth of work. So it just, like, for me, wanting to do it again isn't like, for some people maybe they would see someone like Ethan's numbers, right? He did really good, and you get you know, that the glitter in your eye that oh man, I can go make a house. All I got to do is draw a comic. There's that mindset, and it's a mindset. But like for me, I've always been asked since I left comics, what would make me come back? And I said, my answer is being able to afford to do them.
Right.
You know, and the thing is like I'm a dad, a husband, a son-in-law. I take care of myself and 5 other people, soon to be 6, all by myself, and that, you know, that requires to keep on moving and keep things going. And obviously, we all want to be happy with our jobs. I enjoy. When I was working for Mattel, directing cartoons for them, I enjoyed what I did, and you know, my 3-hour commute didn't really hurt as much as it would had it been a job I didn't like. So I enjoy drawing. I enjoy drawing comics, but if I'm gonna do it, I need to be able to make sure that there's a roof over my kids' heads, and with a lot of the models in which they exist now, that's not possible. And that's why you'll see a lot of art coming out of Europe or South America, or these kids that live with their parents. You know, you can't knock that. But I don't know. I think you guys are doing it right as far as dealing with the crowdfunding, because you get to do what you like to do, and you get to take care of your family.
This is true. Yeah, man, I freaking was making the same amount of money. Well, okay, I had $20 raise at DC between 2000 and today. I mean, it's like if you want to make more money, you have to do more work, and at that point, you're just hurting the quality of your work. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting thing, you know. One of the things that I really learned during the interviews I had done with some of these guys, like I interviewed Mike Mignola and I interviewed Mark Bagley, and I interviewed both of those gentlemen within a day of each other, and it was very interesting. Here are these 2 guys, top of their game. They're both very respected, very talented gentlemen. But where they come from artistically are 2 different places. Bagley is more of a workhorse, and he's.
Right. Can I say one thing though? Let me interrupt you. Let me, because 15 minutes ago, I asked you what Black Flag was. And you told me it was eclectic. You told me about all kinds of people. You told me all kinds of things. I could not tell another human being what Black Flag is about. In 30 seconds or less, what is the Black Flag comic book about?
How about this? Saving the Earth one world at a time.
Okay, that's a good line. I like that for a lead.
There are threats from above, there are threats from below, and there are threats that we know. There are galactic, supernatural, and domestic, and they're here to protect the world from all of them.
Good. I do a lot. I spend a lot of time reviewing people's pitches and how they're trying to sell stuff, and it is important. It's important.
Well, I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything.
No, you should be, because you have 320 people. You have 320 people watching you right now, who so far almost uniformly love your art. So yeah, you should be trying to.
Audience members should go over to Couch Doodles on YouTube. They should go to Couch Doodles on Instagram and wait for it. That's all I have to say.
You think you'll be ready to launch by summer?
Yeah. Rob Liefeld. There are a lot of nuggets of wisdom that he bestowed, and one of the things that he said is you can't tour on 2 albums at once, right? And what he means by that is let's say you're someone like Beyonce or whomever, you can't say it's the tour for this album and for this album because you're trying to sell the one album, right? So the Grave, which is coming out in April, is a focus, and there are things coming out in coordination with it through IDW. For example, I've got 4 covers coming out for G.I. Joe roughly around the same time, and it's just to get retailer presence around the name. And, you know, I'm going to use that and some other things to keep the blood in the system. But you can't really, like, if I was to go off on a tangent on what Black Flag is about, I might not necessarily be having people checking out the Grave quite yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a couple dozen people here in the audience express some sincere interest in your book. So,
oh, thank you.
Sell early, sell often.
Nice.
You'll find the audience. You'll find the audiences for these programs, whether it be Miller's, whether it be Mike's, whether it be Doug Tenapel's, definitely Ethan's. They are very passionate about getting behind people who want to give them a high quality, entertaining product. And if you've got it for them, and you can connect with them, they will support you.
And they'll even support John Allen.
Yeah, I'm surprised I was left out there, Edwin.
He said me twice. He said Miller's and Mike's.
Oh, did I?
I appreciate
okay.
that.
Yeah, well, the well-known artist Mike Malin, huh?
I've only been involved with projects that have raised $500,000. That's it.
Yes. Between Graveyard Shift and Jawbreakers, John Malin, yeah, over $500,000. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How does Blood Honey look?
It
looks awesome.
He's getting close, yeah.
I thought he was shipping in November.
Nope. That's an estimated date of shipping.
I see.
And let's not bring up mine.
Yeah, Mike, how's that corpse of a campaign doing? When you shutting that down?
You, man, I'm waiting for a push from a certain media personality who said he's going to review it on his podcast. So after that, I'll wrap it up.
Brother.
Wait, and let's see. Professor Geek for $5 says, Edwin, give us your advice for crafting a pitch. All right. And so you almost have to throw out, people like Malin, you have to throw out EBS, Miller, and Doug, right? Because all these people were already established. So if you're coming out on your own, right, and this is your first effort, you either need to blow somebody away visually, or you need to connect them with connect your customers with something that emotionally resonates with them, right? There's got to be an anchor. And you look at some of these pitches and people waste like paragraphs and pages telling you how much they love comic books. We get it. If we're looking on IndieGoGo, the assumption is that everybody loves comic books. That's why we're there. And so you've got maybe like 15 seconds to connect with people on a visceral, emotional level. You've got to evoke something back in that hindbrain, that lizard brain. Either a sense of excitement, dread, horror, action, adventure, something. There should be action words. It should convey emotion. It should convey big concepts and make somebody say, yes, I want to give this person my money. Frege, a good campaign to take a look at is Kyung Lee's here. If you go on indiecron.com, you can click over to Battle Maiden Knucklebump. Kyung Lee had a beautiful IndieGoGo setup. Let me pull his up. I usually use Kyung Lee as an example. Kyung Lee is a good example. And Kyung, had you ever had a book before? This is your first broadly commercial project, right?
Correct.
And so just to put this in context, how much, Dan, how much money did you make on that book you did with Image?
The bad one?
Yeah.
Well, this was 2000. This is 2000. This is the year 2000. It was somewhere about $380.
Okay. All right. Let me share something here for you. This is Kyung Lee, right? You see him drawing here. Let me share his. This is his book. It is called Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb. Can you read the amount of money he raised?
Yeah.
Yep. This is his first book. Now, he has a beautiful style, but this is, kind of American manga. But if you look at his setup here, right? He's got a great tagline. He's got a great landing image right on his icon. And then if you look at the way IndieCron is set up, or IndieGoGo, you can click through some of these images, right? And so he's got some high quality stuff right up front.
Looks cool.
Right? And then if you look, he's got lots of action words. He's got a good description, tells you exactly what you're going to get. And then on the perks, each of the perks is customized. And then I don't know if he did this on intention, but his protagonist is this long-legged, powerful-looking girl, and the way her leg is, it just pulls you. This image just pulls you right down the page.
Yep. I thought you said this was a family show, man. So my only concern, and when I said I personally made $300 and something, and now the book itself probably made somewhere around 20 something grand, right? But you have to take into account Image took their fee, which is a flat $2,500. The printing itself, was glossy paper, yada yada yada. It was somewhere around $1.10 a book. You got to account for the fact that Diamond is paying 45% a cover. Then you have to pay your letterer. You have to pay your colorist, unless, of course, you're doing it yourself. You have to pay. In my case, for Gear Station, I had a 3D component to the book, so I had to pay for those sort of things. So when everybody else was paid, I myself got paid $380. The book itself, I can say, hey, you can look at the numbers. It sold, 20,000 copies, etc. That's awesome. But again, I'm talking about deducting costs and the reality of things. And then you look at something like the IndieGoGo number. Uncle Sam's going to take his piece. IndieGoGo is going to take their piece. The creators, whoever worked on the book, need to get paid. The delivery fees, or you're also having to accommodate for paying for your time. Not like Mike Miller, who has his workers being made in his home.
Brag.
But some places, especially numbers like the ones Ethan did. If Ethan was smart, I don't know what he did, but I would have hired a fulfillment company and given them a percentage, because at the end of the day, when you look at what your time is worth, you go, okay, when I draw professionally for other people, my time is worth $100 an hour, right? You just say it's worth $100 an hour. Now, for me to do Black Flag, I'm going to chop that down, because I'm going to lean it out, because this is my project and I'm going to make sure my numbers work. Still, on a delivery level, on fulfillment, you go, okay, let's say I did get 3,000 unique people, right? Well, each of those packages is going to take, more than a minute to pack. You're going to have to weigh it. You're going to have to put the address in. You're going to have to fulfill it. You're going to have to go to the post office. Then you start looking into what is your time worth at that point. And that's when you consider a fulfillment company or not. Anyway, I'm just saying those numbers are great, but got to account for all of the expenses.
Have you been to IndieCron?
No.
All right. So this is Independent Comics version of Comic-Con. We call it IndieCron. It is this site. This site is maintained by a fellow named Pixel Trader and Jean-Luc, and they're adding some more functionality to it. And so if you look, it tracks, it's automated to pull numbers right from IndieGoGo, and it tracks what each one of these books has done.
That's awesome.
So here we can see Graveyard Shift grossed $106,000 with 2,045 backers. Now, John Malin, his average contribution, right, was $51 per person. Right behind him, and literally right behind him, was Mike Miller's Lone Star Heart of the Hero.
He was much further behind me, that corpse of a campaign. Yeah, he will not shut that thing down until he passes me.
All right. $47 per contributor. So say you have 3,000 backers, right? Say you had an exceptionally productive campaign. That would gross you $135,000. And what is it? Is it 4% that goes to IndieCron?
Oh, IndieGoGo? So
Yeah, IndieGoGo. Yeah.
5%?
5%. There you go.
I think it's about 7 overall because you got credit card fees and whatnot.
Yeah, the credit card's 3. So 8% total.
Yeah. So quite a bit is possible. And I think overall, on average, over all of the campaigns that they've tracked, let's see, the average campaign or the average backer per person on all these different projects that are kind of in our network of friends and people who want to make cool stuff for this audience, the average backer contribution was $44 per person. So this audience is fantastic, man. They wanna see good stuff get made.
Yeah, have you tracked or you understand the mentality of doing it on IndieGoGo, or I mean, I'm just gonna say IndieGoGo, is sort of like the movie version. This is Ethan's thing, and I kind of agree with it, where you can have your specialty, your special perks. You can have these unique versions available, and it's like the first premier edition. But then as you go along, eventually this makes it into bookstores. Eventually it makes it into comic book stores. Eventually it's available as digital. Well, depending on how you do it. And so you're just constantly packaging and repackaging and resoliciting through different marketplaces. So it's not just a one-off when you're producing it. The money you're getting from the fans to produce it is literally to produce the book, right? And then after that, that's when you can go out and for the next 10, 20 years, you can sell this through whatever other venues the market can hold, right?
That's pretty cool.
Where are we at on time, Edwin?
You have exactly 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. As I always say, 2 hours sounds like a lot of time until it's not.
Oh, it's an eternity for Dan.
Dan's like, how am I still doing here?
Yeah, well, when you draw with your right brain back home, amazing things can happen. Oh. Man, there are some quality pieces tonight, though.
Scuff it up a little bit.
The amount of talent just blows me away.
I haven't depressed myself by looking around. I've just been staying on my one page. Probably I would just delete this if I got off of this page.
I hear you.
How long did it take Richard to fulfill Iron Sights? Kind of did that over the course of a month, yeah.
I don't remember
about that.
Yeah, but he essentially did that all himself, and he did it as a job. I mean, he was working at it all day, every day, right?
I don't know. I would assume.
Seems that way. I mean, he was always posting shopping carts full of books he was taking to the post office.
Yeah, I honestly thought about renting out a little place next to the post office for like a month.
All right, since we're getting near the end, let me walk through and identify each artist and their creation. You're looking at Mike Miller. This is Mike Miller's.
Cable.
Let me check on YouTube and make sure it's focusing in. It's focusing in well.
Star right on. Yeah.
He's got a very Bruce Willis, John McClane look to the face.
That's fine. I'll take it.
All right. Moving down the line. This is Dan Fraga. Dan Fraga.
Dan is starting a second one. He will be done in 3 minutes.
Yeah, Dan's speed is impressive.
Yeah, if you care about that sort.
Dan Fraga. Well, I think after seeing how fast he draws, I think everybody would feel pretty good about backing one of his books.
They know they get it.
Yeah. When's your book going to be done? Oh, it's done.
Next week. Yeah.
It's like in Spaceballs with the instant cassettes. The book is ready before it's even drawn.
All right. This is Eric Hudson. Eric Hudson.
Throwing a little Deadpool action.
Right. Now we are looking at Ellis Goodson. Ellis Goodson.
It had a lot of versions. What can I tell you?
Gentlemen, we've got about 7 minutes remaining. Right.
7 minutes.
And now we are looking at John Dillard gaming the system.
Yes, the winning drawing you're looking at right now is that of John Dillard gaming the system. Go ahead and head over to his YouTube channel titled John Dillard Gaming the System and show him your support by subscribing.
Very good. Again, this is John Dillard gaming the system. This is John Malin's. John Malin.
Gaming the system.
Gaming the werewolf.
Yep.
John, I would talk smack about yours, but that would be punching down.
Okay.
Only had to wait for the final 5 minutes, but we're finally getting some traction.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it really gets going. Around time you got to vote.
All right, this is John Malin. Right. Looking at Hyung Lee. This is Hyung Lee's. All right, let's take a look at Matt Cusson. All right, it looks like the eraser has been put away.
Yes, it has.
This is Matt Cousins.
Matt Cousins on YouTube. MATTCOSSIN. Agenda.
All right. And last but not least, we have the Ryan Carter.
Oh, he throws a logo on.
By hook or by crook.
Ryan Carter. Gentlemen, you've got about a little bit over 3 minutes remaining. Time to start bringing it together and winding it down. This is going to be a hard choice for the fans tonight. And don't forget, tomorrow night on Chester Busby's channel, you can see the fan edition of Drone and Quarter. And I believe that is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, we'll be busting John Dillard back down to that station.
John, that's why it's not punching down when he comes this way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, about 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining. That gives me just enough time to talk to you about my new upcoming project, Tales from Beyond the Gate. It's a fantastic project starring almost every winner of the fan edition and a couple of pros. And it's going to be a compilation of horror stories, an anthology, if you will. And that's going to be dropping on IndieGoGo February 1st. So make sure to check out Tales from Beyond the Gate. It's going to be fantastic.
Good.
Oh, my rum.
It's Cat. Mike's cat, right?
I think that's my cat.
Blame my cat, jeez.
All right,
You're so quiet. Are you guys not done, or what's going on?
Less than 2 minutes remaining.
I'm just noodling now.
I could call it done. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it.
We should all just call it done and just end it right now.
Where's my Rubik's Cube? Shut up, boy. It's just memorizing algorithms.
That's right.
And 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, I guess if you label it X-Force, you don't have to really make the characters look like the characters, huh?
That's correct.
That's right.
Future.
"30 seconds, gentlemen."
Wait. Kitty.
Let's see, where's the chat at? So there's almost 300 people watching. That's not a bad turnout for the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Very good.
Mike drew a G.I. Joe.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Something was bugging me, and I just picked up my
1. Pins down.
pins down.
You.
All right. Get the poll ready. I'm going to walk through. I'm going to walk through our competitors one more time. And then once we get to the end, I will have you post the poll, please. Chester.
Holy crap.
All right. And this is, again, if you're just joining us now, our topic for tonight was X-Force. And the audience voted for, as you can see, cable. Our first competitor is Mr. Mike Miller.
Hey!
Yeah.
What's up with that stubby femur, Mike?
He's just got a really, thick leg.
Looks
Calls for
good.
shortening.
All right, this is Mr. Mike Miller. Now, joining us for the first time on Drawn and Quartered, we have Mr. Dan Fraga.
Dan forgot to put a tank on his back.
It's all blurred.
Messed up.
Is it blurred to anyone else?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's all blurry. You got to fix it.
Oh, no, it looks good on Facebook.
No, it doesn't. It looks terrible.
I mean, on YouTube. Let's go. It looks better on YouTube than it does on my Hangouts.
Yeah, sometimes it'll look out of focus on Hangouts, but then it's dead on in YouTube. And this is Mr. Dan Fraga. Mr. Dan Fraga.
Remember, you don't have to vote for Dan just because he's new.
All right. Moving down the line, Mr. Eric Hudson.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Eric Hudson.
Dreaded Dinosaur on all social media. My IndieGoGo campaign for Roddy Piper may be done, but I am not.
Sorry.
All right, this is Eric Hudson. All right. Returning. Is this your second or third time on the show, Ellis?
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to run with the cat wanted out really bad, so I had to deal with it. Yeah, it's my second time.
All right, and this is Mr. Ellis Goodson.
Ellis, you are aware we were drawing cable, right?
That looks like Earthworm Jim.
No, I really gnarled up.
Oh, I'm real sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
Love that hair.
Oh, thanks. Is that not the way Cable does his hair?
No.
No, not even close.
You have artistic license.
The future Cable.
Looks like Android 16.
Looks like that guy from the Road Warrior.
Yeah, Wes. Yeah, come think of it. I guess that's who I was doing.
This is Mr. Ellis Goodson. Mr. Ellis Goodson. All right. Taking a look at John Dillard. John Dillard.
Oh, there we go. Finally. Hey, here we go. This is the winning picture here. Thank you for voting for me. This is John Dillard Gaming the System. When you go to vote, make sure to look for the name John Dillard Gaming the System, also could be known as the Pro Slayer. It's a little moniker my little friends gave
Slayer.
to me. Not too bad. But go ahead and look for John Dillard Gaming the System and go ahead and click that vote. I appreciate it. Thank you.
What? John Dillard Gaming the System.
Looks like that Rocky kid from the movie Mask. Like he grew up and then became Cable.
Oh. What?
Rocky.
I'm sorry, what movie?
Rocky
I
Dennis.
haven't seen that one.
The Mask.
Oh, that Mongoloid kid. Okay.
That's what sure, yeah. That's
that
going
giant
back.
chin.
Some people got weak chins and some people don't. Huh?
This is Mr. John Malin.
Not gaming system.
He saved so much time by not having to draw feet.
Vote Malin, vote twice, vote often, guys. Do what's
John
right.
Malin. All right. We're now looking at Chung Lee. This is Chung Lee. Let's see. Let me let YouTube catch up. I just want to make sure it is focused on YouTube. This is Chung Lee. Yeah, that's nicely focused.
Nobody's looking at the cable.
Not at all.
I wonder if that's part of the strategy.
It is.
This
100%.
is Chung Lee.
Cable powered by Wi-Fi power.
John.
All right. Chung Lee.
Nice.
And our next contestant is Matt Cusson. Matt Cusson.
Can you see
Wow, that pulled together all right there, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, about time.
Hey, I told you. See, I learned from that Batman one. I'm making sure I'm just going right in with things as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want in with your eraser as fast as possible. Like, when is this guy going to ink something?
I'm learning from this podcast here.
This is Matt Cusson. Matt Cusson. All right. And last, but certainly not least, is the Ryan Cardinal.
Don't be swayed by his multiple characters. Just look at
No. Be very swayed by the multiple characters.
Yeah, just look at his cable, guys.
Him and Shatterstar and Domino.
The copy pasted logo.
Voted for Shatterstar and Domino.
Just trying to hit all those bases all the way down the line.
Where's your Deadpool?
That's crowd pleasing right there.
I was going to try and slip in Cannonball, but ran out of time.
All right, and this is the Ryan Cardinal. Chester, do you have the poll ready to go?
Chester,
Is this the top part where people vote for Matt Austin, right? I was waiting for this.
There's the poll. It's in the chat.
And we're off.
And the poll's up.
Please, nobody post up a secondary fake poll. That was annoying. And John
put the cameras on free rotate.
Miller, Cosson, or Dillard.
There's only one obvious
the first
answer.
Option.
Well, if I'm ever on again, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
You won't
straight.
be. You talk too slow. My God.
I'm going to do pen direct paper, just like Dan there. Whatever happens, happens.
He'll figure it out.
The eraser.
The poll is in the chat.
This is
the poll's already up. Well, people should be over at the poll voting and vote with your heart.
Vote heart? No. What?
Vote for Matt.
I know that none of you guys really like Mike, but he's a good guy. He's hosting everything, so give him a vote,
No, that's uncalled for.
All right, I'm going to do the quick tour again. Artist,
No, not John Eggnog Drunk Dillard, John the Pro Slayer Dillard.
All right. This is Mike Miller. Mike Miller. Looking at Mike Miller's. All right. This is Dan Fragon.
Boom. Miller Boom. Wait, no. Damn it.
Miller time.
Miller time.
Miller time.
I'm taking.
Right. This is Eric Hudson.
Yo.
Eric Hudson. Right. The Man in Black, Ellis Goodson.
Ellis. Oh, yeah, I like that.
Ellis Goodson.
Hey, that looks better than I remember.
Mike, what's going on? Are your kids sleeping or something?
I don't know.
Wake the family up. Get them voting.
You can only vote once from per ISP, unless you're a cheater like John Dillard.
Yes.
It games the system.
Doing?
All right, this is John Dillard.
I just gamed this. Look at this picture. I just gamed the system by drawing just far superior to everybody else. That's all I do.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Nice couches.
John Dillard's image is a slap in the face to everyone that's voting for him. Just letting you guys know. He played you all.
If you click on John Dillard, Eggnog Drunk, apparently. I mean, I got so many monikers. I don't know why that's one of them.
Yeah, give your votes to Ryan, guys.
Remember, John is spelled John, not Jon.
All right, and this is John Malin. John Malin.
Yeah.
You're now looking at Kyung Lee.
Mm-hmm. Saya.
Kyung Lee.
Nice.
Right. Moving right down the line, we have Matt Coulson. Matt Coulson.
Matt the Eraser Coulson.
We have 331 people in here. Could we at least get a third of you to vote, please?
For John Malin. Thank you.
Matt the Eraser. Come on, people.
And this is the Ryan Carden. The Ryan Carden. All right, cameras are going back on free rotate.
Free rotate. Matt the Eraser isn't not to be confused with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The
I'm sorry,
Eraser.
you gotta speak up, Matt. I'm sorry.
Oh, my headset. I need to get a nice mic. I got my little cheap.
Just turn it off, dude.
I'll turn yours off. Edwin, do it.
You're the one that's a jerk.
Oh, I'm quiet this whole time, man.
All right, we've got 50 votes. We've got 50 votes.
50 votes for John Dillard
That's
already.
it.
Thank you guys so much for voting for John Eggnog Drunk Dillard. Thank you so much.
Dan, I know it's late, but are you asleep already?
No.
Dude, it's 331 people.
Letting the art speak for him.
331 people.
I should have had my picture more on you, more Edwin. I guess the sun went down behind you. You got your mirror reflecting you now. I guess the sunset and white.
Just the window. Yeah. And I don't want to bias the vote at all, but after seeing Mr. Frega's art, I am excited to see the launch of his Black Flag project.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, man.
DQ.
It's one of the original '90s comics, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing back that flavor 100%.
That means you guys want to go to your local comic shop and start digging up those back issues now.
There are 5 of them. 6 if you count the Extreme Zero.
All right, so now some people are saying...
Who used the socket wrench for a reference for the gun?
Hang on, gentlemen. Some people in the audience are saying that the link doesn't work. Make sure to click on the one that is being posted by Chester Busby. Chester Busby is posting the correct link.
Hey, Dan, do you, when you do your storyboards, do you use the same operating philosophy of just going straight to the page with your stuff?
I do, though I don't go as full detailed. I because it's a sequence, usually consisting of about 50 different panels. I'll go in.
Okay, so it's called for really to go just really direct, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speed is of essence, especially with TV shows. They need you to turn around a lot of drawings very fast.
Right. And you're digital?
All the stuff I do, like for money, is digital. Yeah, but stuff I do for myself is still analog.
In the storyboards for animation, they make you do like basically a rough animatic. Do you have to do that like in live action or anything like that, or?
It depends. Depends on the client. I mean, in animation, we use Storyboard Pro. There have been some live action productions that have used Storyboard Pro, but for the most part, I do it in Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and Ethan Van Sciver is in the audience, and he is cheering on Mr. Dan Frega.
Well, that's very kind. I've known Ethan since we were kids.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of crazy. I've known Ethan since like 97, no, what was it, 96, 97? Something like that. You know, long time. Over 20 years.
Yeah, that's... I think we met in like 95?
Think so, yeah.
We're old.
It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about. Really.
Now, some people say they're having problems with the poll. Make sure that you are clicking on the one being posted by Chester Busby. On my side, it's working fine. brings me right to it.
It was not accepting my vote for a while either.
I've been trying to vote. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, everyone who's been trying to vote for me is apparently it's not working right.
Yeah. What's the deal with my groundswell?
I don't know. I think this one's broken. Maybe we should just not count this week.
Yeah, let's not count this one.
All right, let's at least get up to 100 votes. So whoever else is left, come on now. There's 307 of you. It doesn't cost you anything to vote. They're not tracking you. This is not come after you. Your name's not going to go on a list.
It might.
That's what sounds like Zuckerberg. It's going on a list.
Yeah, I see the votes going up. I see the votes going up.
Yeah, don't be afraid to vote for John Dillard Gaming the System, and don't vote for Dan Frega. His name's not even the way you remember it. I mean,
it's not.
Disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. I
ruined some people's brains today. Yeah, yeah.
It took me a while to get over Mignola.
Mignola, yeah, Mike Mignola.
I said Mignola. Mignola. It sounds better, Mignola, man. Maybe you change it.
I got that.
When I was a kid, they called John Buscema John Bushima.
Yeah, I did too.
That threw me off as well. Or Mark Silvestri. It's not Silver Streak.
What about Bill Sienkiewicz? How do you
say that? It's Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz. Okay. And I always said Dan Frega.
Yeah.
Hey,
I had a rap song.
It just sounds cooler when you say Dan Frega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you in the Extreme video, that documentary thing?
I am.
Cool. Yeah, that was great watching that.
It was strange. It was a very strange thing.
All right, and if you're listening at home, please click on the link that is being posted by Chester Busby and vote in the poll for the winner of your choice. We appreciate your participation. Let me see where we are at with votes.
$92. Come on, we got to get over it.
We need 8 more people voting, and if all 8 people could vote for John Eggnog Drunk Dillard, that would be fantastic.
All right, I'm going to give it 2 more minutes since we're closing in on 100 votes. 2 more minutes to get your vote counted. You, here on Drawn and Quartered, the consumer, the fan, gets to decide who wins. So please use your voice and vote.
Every vote counts, people. Every vote counts.
This was, I think we've now turned out a better showing for X-Force than showed up in the comic book stores today.
Cold-blooded.
All right, you've got 1 minute. 1 minute left to get your votes in. Please get your votes in. So
hey, Dan.
Your winner.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hey, so who was it that was wearing the Bad Rock suit that crashed Rob's sports car?
It was a guy named Dave, but he's passed away. He's not around anymore. But yeah, I remember when that happened. It was Rob's Dodge Viper. It was on the 91 freeway in the Beach Boulevard exit. He just came in a little too hot and went off the edge.
Was he in the outfit too?
No. Jeez, oh my God! But he's a big man. He was like 6'5". He was 6'5", 6'6", big dude.
Oh, do they call him Big Dave?
Big Dave, yes.
Oh wow, yeah. I think I met him.
Yeah, he's a really sweet guy. Really sweet guy.
When did he pass?
Oh man, about 10 years ago. I mean, the big guys like that are prone to heart issues because of their size.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like shortly after you wiped out the Viper.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He had some accident. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Miller.
Yep, call it.
I am going to refresh. And
Looks like people were confusing John Dillard with me.
Why? What happened? Did I win again or no?
All right.
No, you didn't win again.
I am going to go from least to most votes. With tied for, what would this be? Last place. We have.
What would this be?
We have. We have Ellis.
Oh, God.
Malin Goodson and Eric Ronda Rousey. Wee Hudson. Gentlemen, you tie. All right. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th place. 7th place with 2 votes. We have Ryan Van Champ Cardinal.
Back to the fan edition, Cardinal.
Back I go.
Sucker.
So, unfortunately, tonight, quantity was not the quality that people were looking for.
Yep.
All right. In 6th place, we have Kyung Sweet Mama Son Lee. 4 votes.
Your ploy did not work, Young.
This week.
This is a family show.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Matt the Eraser Kosa has an agenda, but a medal was not on his agenda tonight. In 5th place, place with 11 votes.
Mike took it from me. Well,
all right. Our ever lovable host, Mike. It's my paper's fault, Miller. Coming in 4th place with 13 votes. All right.
It's almost as bad as last place.
Not even a medal, huh? What's going on?
All right, now, I'm sure what everybody's waiting for, the medal positions. With the bronze medal in 3rd place, John Balls on the Wall Melee with 21 votes.
Yeah. Just another medal, guys. Just another medal.
All right. With a silver medal on his 2nd appearance, John Eggnog Drunk.
No, I lost.
With 24
I lost.
votes.
First loser.
I lost. Yeah. Well, I was just see, Malin was telling me that you want to get 2nd place. That way you don't have to send out your picture.
That's right.
So I'm actually the real winner here. Thank you very much, you guys. I appreciate it.
That's true.
All right. Now, with his first appearance on Drone Record, taking 1st place and the gold medal, Dan Philosophical Fraser. Congratulations, Mr. Fraser.
Good job.
Thanks, philosophical. I like that.
Dan's first and last appearance.
Why are these red dots on my head right now? And on my chest? What is this?
Dan Fraga with the pity vote.
All right.
Now, Dan, we have a tradition on Drone and Quarter.
Yeah.
Usually, the winner of Drone and Quarter will give away a copy of their piece to a randomly selected fan. Are you okay with that?
In fact, I want to express my delight in appearing on the show and with my victory by giving the original actual drawing. Yes,
nice. They don't want to start that.
What a man! What a guy!
I'm doing it, guys. They get the actual drawing.
Wow. That's
okay.
Big
plus. All right, audience. If you want to win this original Dan Fraga piece, what I want you to do right now is type in Dan Fraga into the chat.
Fraga boom.
So tonight you're not getting a print. You are getting the original art. So if you want to win this, type in Dan Fraga into the chat.
You got 30 seconds.
Can contestants enter this too?
You want that?
I think that contestant should be able to enter, seeing as how he's not a real competitor and he only won because he's a special guest and I should have won.
The only one who can't enter is me because I'm picking the name. So.
Oh, okay.
Quick, Elijah, enter your name in there.
Thank you, Dan. That's very generous.
No problem. It's a lot of fun to be on here. But, you know, I do need to learn how to game the system.
Good.
I think it involves rum and some form of degeneracy. You could probably get
I'm missing the rum. I've finished this bourbon. This glass is empty.
Wow.
So
don't be a pessimist.
How's it spelled?
I'm a degenerate.
Spelled Frega?
All right, that's it.
C-O-O-N.
I'm spinning the wheel here. I'm spinning the wheel. Spinning and spinning. Stop. Scone Pelican. Scone Pelican.
Scone Pelican.
I see Scone Pelican right there.
Scone Pelican is the winner, Dan. Scone,
Awesome.
Dan is Pragaboom on Twitter. So if you would just at him or message him, or Dan, are your messages open?
I believe they are. Or you can hit me up on a DM on Instagram, on Couch Doodles on Instagram. That's usually the easiest.
All right, there you go, Scone. Dan, you might want to write that name down so you know.
I remember it. Scone Pelican, because I like scones and I like pelicans.
All right. Well, congratulations, Scone Pelican. Congratulations, Dan. It was great having you here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You crushed it, man. I couldn't
make a guy feel welcome.
That piece was so great I couldn't talk smack, and that's usually my thing. So
damn it.
I know.
What happened with this vote?
What are you gonna do? Thanks everybody for being here. One at a time and one more time, please. Everybody, give out your contact information. Any place, anywhere people can reach you. Dan, let's start with you.
Just search Couch Doodles, COUCHDOODLES on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter. And on YouTube and on Twitter, it's Fragaboom, FRAGABOOM.
Yeah, and again, if you guys could go to his YouTube channel and just set it to autoplay and then just watch all of his videos. Let's get him monetized.
There's one in there that's actually a lot of fun to watch. It's time lapses of about 400 drawings being done over 3 hours, so you can just put it on and leave it on.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go.
That's
and next, Dreaded. Who's Dreaded? Is that Eric?
Yep, that's me.
All right.
I am at Dreaded Dinosaur on all the social media platforms. I had the Ready Paper comic book up on IndieGoGo for a while. It is closed now, but stay tuned. And as the comic nears completion, you'll find out how to get your own copy later on.
All right. Edwin, do you want to give out your info?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and on YouTube, and Edwin Boyette. And you can find me here all the time.
All right. Ellis Goodson.
Yeah, you can find me at Russell Goodson 1. That's all one word. And that's on Twitter. And follow me so I have more people to sell my book, Locust Hole, when it comes out in about a year. I do better artwork when I'm relaxed.
He's a great artist. Don't let my bad mouthing him. That's just part of the game. John Dillard.
Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, my name is John Dillard, and I have a YouTube channel called John Dillard Gaming the System. And if you would, hop on over there and subscribe, and we're going to be talking about and doing some live drawings of some of the stories that are going to be in this book we got coming out called Tales from Beyond the Gate. We'd love to have you over there on our channel. And it's John Dillard Gaming the System and all of the gatekeepers that are associated with us. I appreciate you.
All right. And the not gaming the system, John Malin.
Yeah, I'm John Malin. You can find me on Twitter at John Malin. I also have a YouTube channel. Also under John Malin, go over there right now and check out the Christmas Carol radio audio program that we all made. Mike, Doug Tenaple, Edwin, Cecil, a lot of good people are in there and participated. Kyung Lee. And yeah, so check it out. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long, and put a lot of work into it. So go ahead, check it out.
Yeah, it was really good. Worth the time. The great Kyung Lee.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. My name is Kyung Lee, the creator of Battlemania Knuckle Bomb, which is currently available on IndieGoGo. You can check it out at kyunglee.com. And announced yesterday, as a Christmas present, it's kind of a surprise perk. This illustration that I did for Christmas is going to be converted into a trading card and going to be added as an additional bonus perk for all of my backers. And so you get all of the stretch goals along with an additional trading card. So yeah, Merry Christmas, and once again, thanks for having me, guys.
Fantastic. And Matt Cosson.
Hello, everyone. This is Matt Cosson. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and we just thank you for everyone who helped back the agenda. We are now in demand, so we are 108% funded. Thanks, Mike, for having us on, and check it out. And I have a contest that I will be announcing the winners to on YouTube, so just stay tuned for that. And thanks a lot.
Right on, Matt. And Ryan.
Hey, everybody. Thanks again for having me here. I'll battle my way back up to try and defeat you guys once again. But everybody can find me on all my social media. That's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff at the Ryan Cardinal.
All right. And as always, I am your host and whatever. Mike Miller. This is Blacklist Universe. Please do subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you are set to always on notifications because YouTube likes to screw up people's notifications. I still have LoneStarComic.com running, and I still have TheMegComic.com running. If you guys want to check those out, I would appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you, one and all. Edwin, would you like to say the outros, please?
Yeah. And again, let me remind you that tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you can catch the fan edition of Drawn and Quartered on Chester Busby's YouTube. So the day after Christmas, I hope everybody got every single thing they wanted and had hoped for. But I hope each of you. And if you missed your chance, do it today. Do it tomorrow. Be a gift to the people around you. Be a blessing. Right? Bring up the people around you. Make the world a better place wherever you stand, because you stand therein. Thank you so much once again for joining us. We appreciate you all. We appreciate your good attention, and your enthusiasm. And please join us again next week. Until we meet again, wish you a good night and aloha.
Aloha. Good night and God bless everybody.
Aloha.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you guys.
Good night, everyone.